Hi everyone, welcome to Job Hunting, a guide for the neurodivergent. I'm Shoili. I've already been introduced to you guys. So to add to what you already know about me, we've recently been trying to move to the UK to be closer to family, and so I have joined many of us here in job hunting hell. I also have ADHD, and that's what brings me here today. So, tech hiring is broken. You hear this all the time, but if you've been part of it, you know how exhausting it is. 5 or 6 rounds per company, if you even get to the interview stage. Before you even get there, you spend hours on LinkedIn, hours applying, and every time you open LinkedIn, you see so much advice, right? Write a fresh CV for every single application, research the company culture for every single company out there. And it all feels so overwhelming if you're neurodivergent or just, somebody with anxiety. It's so overwhelming. And on top of that, if you're also filling out accommodation request forms, which may or may not lead anywhere, this process is very tiring. So my agenda today is simple. Make your job hunt less exhausting. I'm going to try to give you some tips and tricks that are neurodivergent friendly, and like I said, hopefully they'll be helpful to everybody here. So step 1, making your resume. Step 2, applying to jobs. Step 3 is preparing for interviews, and step 4, recovering from all of the above. We're going to try to tackle these 4 things in the next 10 minutes, and then we'll have a little bit of time for questions or commiseration. So step 1, the advice out there that I see all the time is make a new CV for every single application, use keywords from the listing, use AI to get this done. AI will make up projects you've worked on, but roll with it somehow. What I've been doing instead is I have 2 or 3 versions of my resume, right? I think of it as a fun A/B testing game. So make one resume more geared towards, let's say, the travel industry, highlight the projects which you think are relevant, one more geared towards banking, whatever you're interested in, whatever you see yourself applying to most often. As you're reading these job descriptions, keywords will pop out to you. So send the most relevant resume to the application you're doing. You do not need 200 resumes, 3 should be enough. If you see that you're getting more responses for one of these versions, move slowly towards that version. Maybe there are words there that are popping out more often. Try to analyze it and see why it's working. And secondly, use an ATS checker once, just to make sure that your resume can be parsed by the AI systems that are reading your resume before a human even gets to it. It's nice to be rejected by a human instead of by an AI, I guess. Now, step 2, applications. There's so much advice on this, like apply within 30 minutes of every job being posted. I saw something that said that you need to know about the job that is going to be posted before it's even been posted. And I almost cried. Apply to hundreds of jobs, write an AI-generated cover letter, make a spreadsheet to track all the applications. What I would say here is apply for 30 minutes every day or every other day, twice a week, whatever works for you. Let your browser autofill forms. Do not write a cover letter unless you really want this job. I have one cover letter. Paragraph 1 talks about who I am. Paragraph 2 is empty, which I tweak according to the job description or the company. Paragraph 3 is a deeper dive into my skills. And paragraph 4 is the etc., like my willingness to relocate for that job. This works pretty well. I have an email folder for the jobs I apply to. I route everything into there. If anyone gets back to me, I use the search bar to find my previous emails with them and read through them, but I'm not going to maintain a spreadsheet on top of everything else I'm already doing. Step 3, interviews. For data science, the interview advice out there says what? Study Python, pandas, data structures, SQL, machine learning, statistics, A/B testing, product knowledge, on and on and on. And then study the company culture for each company. So let me remind you, you know how to do your job. You already know Python, SQL, etc., etc. What I am struggling with here is more framing these things in the rapid-fire question-answer format of an interview, or framing them in a way that makes sense in an interview format. So what I've been doing here is using lists of frequently asked questions from preparation websites. You can also use ChatGPT to generate question sets for specific job interviews or specific companies. You can look on Glassdoor. And so I've been structuring my preparation more in a question-answer format. I also make notes, which I revise before interviews. If you have working memory issues, I find that very helpful. I have a project overview. There's a 200-word version of the best project that I think I've ever done. I use the 200-word version for applications. I have a one-page version that I read through before every interview so that it's fresh in my mind. Use the STAR format, situation, task, action, response. Don't quote me on that, Google it. Working memory, guys. And then write down 4 to 6 examples of your general work accomplishments. Match them with the culture adjectives on the company website. Most companies, realistically, what are they looking for? Someone who puts the customer first, someone who collaborates with their colleagues, right? It largely boils down to 4 or 5 general human qualities. So you don't need to think from step 0 every single time. Use what you already have used in other interviews. I have found some value in watching interview videos on YouTube. I think, to my way of thinking, some things are too obvious to mention. Sometimes in an interview, I have found someone has said, maybe you should discuss this with product instead of make a unilateral decision. And my thought then is, what kind of crazy person hasn't been discussing all of this with product, right? But there is obviously value to saying all of this out loud in a discussion with someone who's never met you before, right? So just seeing others interview, seeing others talk about their projects has given me some insight into what I'm missing. Lastly, accommodations. I'm actually not going to talk too much about this. There are a lot of resources online about accommodations tailored to your specific disability or condition. Use them. But so far, in my experience, accommodation requests have just been filling out extra forms and not leading to much in return. What I have found helpful is just asking recruiters what to expect in the interview. A lot of them are very happy to walk me through what kind of questions, who is going to be speaking to me, and just a full overview of the hour. And that has helped me be prepared, completely independent of whether I ever filled out an accommodation form. Now, lastly, burnout prevention or recovery. Now, no one talks about this. This is not a big conversation on LinkedIn. But if you've been interviewing for months, you might be a bit close to burnout. You might be exhausted. So 2 things that I find that help me. One is a pre- and post-interview ritual, right? Go for a walk. Time your medication, if you use medication, to focus, to optimize your focus, right? Eat some protein, optimize that brain function. If it's not a big day of organization, eat a spoon of peanut butter. It's fine. Your interviewer is not judging you based on your food choices of the day. After the interview, take it easy, lie down, eat a treat. Remind yourself that interviewing is exhausting, but it is leading you to get better at interviews. So you have accomplished something that day. You deserve a bit of a break. And the last thing I want to talk about today before we move to questions is rejection. A lot of us have trouble with emotional regulation. Sometimes we have something called rejection-sensitive dysphoria. Rejections can feel big and really knock you out, right? This is a US stat, but the average time to find a job in tech is 6 months now, which is crazy, right? So remind yourself that you're doing the best you can. Talk to your hype person. Lean on your friends, your partner, your parents. The people who remind you that your value as a human is not in your interviewing skills, it's who you are as a person, right? And I also like to be petty. I remind myself that I dodged a bullet with some of these rejections. If the interviewer was mean to me, I don't want to work there. Sometimes I see a negative news article about something a company has done, and I'm like, whew, so glad they rejected me 4 months ago. But find the small joys in life. And I'm going to wrap up with this. Be nice to yourself. A lot of us are very harsh on how we judge ourselves. And what helps me is imagining what I would say to a friend in that situation and saying it to myself. Because what I say to myself is harsh. What I say to my friends is nice. So do that. That's it. Thank you so much. Happy to take any questions. Happy to talk to you outside if you want to add me on LinkedIn. I think this dinosaur QR code works. But that's it. Thank you so much.